Sup Shredders, my name is Logan, aka Spiderhands, and welcome to SP Reviews, where today we have ourselves a track by an act named Kyle Lacy, titled Love Spectator. And if we switch over to here, we have ourselves the track on the screen, and we're going to listen through this track from start to finish, which is on Spotify, and we're going to hear what we think. Let's go, let's do this. What do we got?
I'm just a love spectator.
Oh, nice work with the vocals and drums.
When I watch you cry,
Nice and minimalist. Nice reverb child to that as well.
Years gone by, think of the smile.
Great use of hidden cheers voice.
I'm on trial without a crime. I'm always your love spectator.
Ooh, okay.
'Cause I just watch you say goodbye.
Damn, there's those lady backing vocals there, and have it coming in with the guitars. Now I dig. Saxophone in there. That's a sexy tone to it overall, dude. I dig it.
Straight up or on the rocks, it don't matter with me. I went down to
they got a blues phrasing.
you went to see.
I'm impressed by this.
A little touch, a little kiss, but it was just for play. You sailed the deep blue sea for 40 nights and 40 days. I'm just your love spectator.
Dude, I'm blown away by this track already, man. We got ourselves someone who can sing, someone who knows how to arrange a track, someone knows how to sort of add that necessary coloration, has that sense of perceived loudness and dynamic range down. Great use of space. Oh, some gorgeous harmonies there as well. Lots to appreciate.
Think of the smiles. I think I'm on trial without a crime. I'm always your love spectator. 'Cause I just watch you say goodbye. Hail to the chief.
Oh my goodness, I'm actually really impressed. This is a phenomenal first impression with Kyle Lacy.
Bring me a little praise. I came out of solitary.
Flat -7, flat 5.
I gave you all my days. When you see me floating after, like some ghost from long ago.
Just the way he floats between those notes with those legato passages and explores that scale range, and how it just everything else simmers around him and he dances across it. It's so fantastic, man.
Love like ours just fills me up, and I'll never ever let you go.
Bass? Is this a bass solo? Damn! The classy. Oh, that's 7/6 harmony there. That sucks.
So I fly through the streets, I float on the breeze.
And then returning to this blues, this phrasing, man, it's sensational. Like, it's effervescent. The work with the basses and that saxophone lead taking turns like that. I love how rare that is nowadays and how we're making the most of that in this track.
I walk street corners suspended from the trees.
Fantastic imagery there with the suspended by the trees part.
Listen carefully for your inner life. Yeah. My mistake was waiting just a little too close to the fire. I'm just your love spectator. When I watch you cry, not in for the now or the later. All these years gone by, think of the smiles. I think I'm on trial without a crime. I'm always your love spectator.
Wonderful outro
'Cause
chorus.
I just watch you say goodbye.
This is next level stuff. This is a class act, man. I'm blown away by that. Holy crap, dude. This is next level stuff. So this is the conclusion of my review of Love Spectator by Kyle Lacy. My goodness, I'm blown away by this. What do I think this track is about? I think it's about a human being who, a love spectator, getting too close to the fire, swinging through being suspended by the trees, floating with the clouds and everything like that. I think this is about a human being who is traditionally, very sort of like calm and content in their own ways, but they're trying to get close to someone, and maybe they've made some mistakes there, you know. They're having to watch that love from afar, you know. You're having to watch that passion from afar. You get too close, you're gonna get burnt. There was maybe a little bit more nuance that was given earlier on. I was just blown away by all the stuff that was going on for the accompaniment, but also Kyle's vocals. Damn, man, he got some pipes on him, dude. Like, the head and chest voice is on point. Fantastic creativity with those vocal melodies and harmonies and all that. Lots of beautiful sort of fantastic texture to it. Very professional tone to it. This is someone who clearly has their technique sorted. They're an experienced singer. They're very calm and confident on the mic, but they also know how to express themselves authentically. No complaints whatsoever. What I love about this track, though, is that it's not just about the vocals, but that the vocals from Kyle are that good. You know, we allow some space for the backing instruments and everything like that. But when he comes in with his storytelling, or he comes back in with that Love Spectator sort of hook line with those side type vocals as well, you know that you're about to get down with it. You know you're about to get down with it. It's a great track. Great effort on that side of things, you know. The structure of this track is predominantly sort of that instrumental sort of intro, or like the slow intro, should I say. If we go back, now what am I talking about? I'm tripping, man. I'm just blown away by all the instruments. You got the drums and Kyle Lacy. What am I talking about? Kyle Lacy with just the drums and the vocals being enough to start everything up, and then we have the guitar, bass, and saxophone coming later on in the back and vocals, and it's just, you know, start off with that hook there, that basic concept, and you develop it. And it's what you need to do even when you've got a track that's just within that 2 to 4 minute mark. It's an excellent sort of example of what can be done when you've got someone who can not only sing but write music. There's a sense of sophistication, old school timey kind of charm there, with the way these sort of jazzy sort of bluesy progressions sound there. With that, you know, the blues is phrasing with the line, and then like the response to that from the rest of the instruments. It kind of sounds like you're listening to someone on stage speak their truth. And I adore that to pieces. I want that live vibe from a track. I live for that, man. That's cool. You know, you've got the bridges and then the choruses and everything like that. You got that tension there. You got like the solo section with the distorted or that gritty kind of bass tone with the sax coming in. You know, and just honestly, I'm not left wanting, man. There's so much to enjoy and appreciate here. There were sort of you know, there's these key melodic motifs that are put in there and reiterated upon by like the brass bits and everything like that, which the vocals kind of line with. But we've got different sort of chord progressions and bass lines for each of the parts, which I appreciate that change there dynamically. It's enough not only to get the song stuck in your head, but also to carry you through it and float in the breeze alongside Kyle. You know, so kudos on that front. It's just the overall sort of like phrasing of some of those bits as well, you know. Having that, again, that space with just the vocals by itself isn't so much a production thing. It's more like allowing the focal point to sort of go between sections. And I like the fact that Kyle, again, allowed space for the backing to come in and have their time to shine. I really appreciate that. It's nice to see that chemistry between band members. The drums were sensational as well. I heard some of that sort of like low-key ghost feel work during the rhythm section, and it's great. You know, it's so tight. There was not a note out of place. This is a very professional recording from an actor who's not mucking around. I also want to sort of point out in that chorus section, we had the Love Spectator part. We had like an AABA section there. We had like a major lift in that sort of second half of each of the hooks. And with that seventh sort of extension there, I think that was a really nice, lovely sort of transition there. That never got old for me, no matter how many times we had it. It was such a seamless sort of like move into that. And it was so pleasing and charming to listen to. And it's nice to have that balance even with some of the sort of the lower points within the overall musicality and coloration of the harmonies and such. I think it's a great choice there. It's the little things that really kind of make it next level. And I think that, again, Kyle Lacy is showing that he's capable of doing whatever he needs to get the song and the story across. And I think it's just as a final comment before we go on to the mixing and mastering sort of production stuff, it was nice not to have a guitar solo there. It was nice to have a bass solo. Too often we have like the lead instrument be the literal sort of frequency range of the vocalist. But I think it just is not only a testament to the production quality, studio recording and everything like that, but it's also just testament to knowing when to take things away and bring them back. The fact we had a little bit more oomph behind that bass section, and then we had that sax kind of flutter alongside it over top in the second half. It's knowing how to make space for stuff and keep it engaging. I think even within that sort of like that reduced range of octave range, you know, of the bass, it was still incredibly charming to hear, and it was actually a nice foil to what was going on to Kyle with his main vocal lines, because of course then you had the sax kind of re-enter that atmosphere there, and then you just have him come in after that back to reinforce the outro, and you're good. Finally, the production, recording, mixing and mastering is sensational. Nothing but love for it. We clearly have people on display here who know how to work with this type of music, this kind of jazzy, bluesy, kind of old kind of vibes, kind of 70s kind of riff to it. It's charming. It's got a nice warmth to it. They recorded the vocals and everything else incredibly well. There's a great crispness, a clarity to the overall tones of the elements well. There was a minimalist kind of approach to the actual sort of like modulation and manipulation of the recorded takes themselves. There weren't a whole lot of effects stuck on there. The guy clearly has technique. He can sing. He doesn't need a whole bunch of autotune and any of that sort of stuff. It's just a bit of reverb and a bit of compression there, and he's good to go. You know, and I just think it's just, again, it's great how the backing vocals came on the sides. I know that's a thing you typically do, but you can never take that for granted. Yeah, the backings come in on the sides nice and wide in those hook chorus sections and everything like that. And just honestly, everything had a niche in the stereo field and frequency spectrum, which again is not just down to the arrangement and knowing what instruments to put there. You know, there weren't too many instruments occupying like the highs or the mids or the lows at any point. But it's also testament to knowing how to sort of reduce any resonant frequencies there and to really just get the right sounds in there in your track and your composition there, because if you have too much going on in one area, it'll sound muddy or it'll sound too shrill. We didn't have any of that issues, you know. There were no resonant frequencies in the frequency spectrum. Everything had niche, things were nicely leveled, and things again were nice and wide in the stereo field. And when things came and went away, you know, like again with the verse sections with the line and then everything back there, you know, you had that going backwards and forwards there, which I really appreciated. And it's not, and I also just want to sort of stress the fact that I like that the saxophonist could clearly play, but he was trying to keep a similar sort of kind of like speed inside a style to what Kyle was doing on the vocals there. There was a great respect between the soloists and Kyle. I appreciate that a lot. It was great balance there. From like a solo lead perspective. The limiting compression was absolutely fine. There was no pumping, you know, it was nice and loud without being boisterous, and there was nice amount of dynamic range and perceived loudness changes there, you know. It's effectively my review of this track, Love Spectator by Kyle Lacy. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go show Kyle Lacy some love via their various social medias and their Spotify page. Stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time as they need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world, and I'll catch you in the next review. Spiderhands out.